Hello everyone. I welcome you all to this lesson. Today I am going to discuss on the topic Oliver Asks for More, which is written by Charles Dickens. In this video, I will be giving you the character sketch of each person who are characterized in this story. So children, let us start this lesson Oliver Asks for More. But before that, let me ask you, have you subscribed to my channel? If you have not subscribed up till now, then please do. And watch the video till end. And press the like button if you have liked it. So, let us start the lesson Oliver Asks for More. Let me tell you something about the writer Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens was a prolific English writer, widely regarded as one of the greatest novelists of the Victorian era. Born in Portsmouth, England, Dickens experienced a difficult childhood marked by poverty and troubled family life. Despite these challenges, he began his career as a journalist and writer at a young age. He published his first work, Sketches by Boz, in 1836. In this story, he has described about Oliver Twist, who is one of the character of the story. In this story, we learn that Oliver Twist, who is the protagonist of the story, is born in workhouse in England. His mother, who was brought to the workhouse the night before, dies after giving birth to him. The doctor and an old woman who were present at the time wondered where she came from and where she was going. No one knows who Oliver's father is. So Mr. Bumble, an important officer in the town, names him Oliver Twist. So he was born in workhouse and raised as an orphan with no knowledge of his family. He is mistreated and abused by those who is meant to take care of him. But he retains a sense of kindness and goodness throughout his experiences. Oliver Twist is known for his resilience, innocence, and inherent goodness. He is born in workhouse. Oliver's early life is marked by poverty, hardship, and neglect. Yet he manages to maintain a kind heart and unwavering moral compass. Physically, Oliver is described as a small, thin boy and pale skin, large eyes, and a look of premature wisdom. His appearance reflects his difficult upbringing, but it also hints at the inner strength and determination to overcome adversity. Oliver's innocence and naivety are evident throughout the story. He is often bewildered by the harsh realities of the world and the cruelty of those around him. Despite this, he never loses his innate goodness and remains untouched by the corruption that surrounds him. Oliver's resilience is a defining trait. He endures physical and emotional abuse, poverty, and hunger. Yet, he never succumbs to bitterness or despair. Instead, he maintains a sense of hope and belief in the inherent goodness of humanity. This unwavering optimism becomes a beacon of light in the dark world of the novel. Throughout the story, Oliver's kindness and compassion shines, though his interactions with others. He shows through his interactions with others. He shows empathy towards those who suffer, befriends outcasts and outflows, and extends a helping hand wherever possible. Oliver's purity of heart and genuine concern for others make him a source of inspiration for other characters in the novel. So children, we have learnt that Oliver Twist was the son of Edwin Leaford and Agnes Fleming. He is thought to be an orphan, a dear grateful gentle child who, instead of possessing too little, possessed rather too much. He had not learned that self-preservation is the first law of nature. Now I'll tell you about the mother of Oliver. Her name was Agnes Fleming. Agnes gets the first and the last word of the novel, so even though she is only alive for about few minutes at the beginning, we figure that she is actually pretty important. Agnes is Oliver's mother, and that's where the story picks up. In the first chapter, she arrives at a workhouse, has her baby, and dies. So Oliver's mother is a young woman who dies shortly after giving birth to Oliver in the workhouse. She is unnamed and unknown, left to die alone without anyone to care for her. She was engaged to Oliver's father Edwin, but Edwin died before they could be married. Agnes was pregnant when Edwin died. Agnes gives birth to Oliver in a poor house since her family has abandoned her in the wake of her pregnancy. At the novel's end, the narrator says that though she was a fine woman and beautiful, Agnes was weak and erring because of her dalliance with Edwin before their marriage. So here we come to know about Oliver's mother. Now children, I'll tell you something about the doctor. The doctor who was present or who attends Oliver's mother in giving birth to little Oliver. So here the doctor who attends to Oliver's mother when she is dying and later comments on her lack of a wedding ring. He is detached and disinterested in the fate of the poor and homeless. Then we'll talk about another character, that is the old woman. The old woman was the elderly nurse who attends Oliver's mother in her final moments, and after that she takes care of Oliver. So the elderly nurse who attends to Oliver's mother in her final moments and takes care of Oliver after her death is kind and sympathetic to the plight of the poor and marginalized. Now children, the next character I'll tell you is about Mr. Bumble. He is an important officer in the town who oversees the workhouse and invents names for the orphans. He is cruel and callous, enjoying his power over the vulnerable children in his care. Mr. Bumble is a beadle, a minor church appointed official who oversees the running of the workhouse in question. Mr. Bumble is pompous, greedy, and unfeeling, so much so that the name of Mr. Bumble character has been synonymous with petty, power-hungry bureaucrats throughout the word bumbledom. So children, what we have learned about Mr. Bumble? that he is in the town and he oversees the workhouse, and then he invents the names for the orphan. Now, children, I'll tell you about the workhouse boys. The other orphans who lives in the workhouse with Oliver, they are his friends who are also orphans. They are hungry, cold, and mistreated, but they band together to support each other and try to improve their circumstances. And my last character in this story, Oliver asks for more. In this story is Mr. Sowerberry. He is a tall and thin coffin maker who wore black clothes. He made coffins for most of the poor people that dies in the workhouse. Mr. Bumble, though highly of him, and thought that he would become rich one day. So now, children, I'll tell you about the summary of the story Oliver Asks for More, which is written by Charles Dickens. So Oliver Asks for More. In this chapter, first of all, we learn about the tragic birth of Oliver. Oliver Twist is born in a workhouse in England. His mother, who was brought to the workhouse the night before, dies after giving birth to him. The doctor and an old woman who were present at the time of his birth at that time wonder where she came from and where she was going. No one knows who Oliver's father is. So Mr. Bumble, an important officer in town, names the little child as Oliver Twist. Then Oliver, since he was an orphan, he started living in the workhouse. Oliver grows up in the workhouse where he and the other boys receives very little food and clothing. They are only given thin soups for 3 meals a day, and on Sundays they receive a small piece of bread. Oliver and his friends decide to ask for more food one day, and Oliver is chosen to make the request. He approaches the master and asks for one more soup, which causes the master to hit him and leave him locked in a dark room. So now Oliver is desperate at this particular situation. As he was very hungry, other boys also remained very hungry, and when he asked for more, then he was hit and he was locked. So when Oliver is locked up in the cold dark room for a week, during which he is beaten by Mr. Bumble every morning, he also paraded in front of other boys who watch as he punished. Oliver cries constantly and is very lonely and frightened. One day, Mr. Bumble meets Mr. Sowerberry, a man who makes coffins for the poor people who die in the workhouse, and asks if he knows anyone who wants a boy like Oliver. Then Mr. Bumble offers to pay £5 to anyone who takes Oliver Twist. He puts up a notice on the workhouse gate to advertise the offer. Mr. Sowerberry takes Oliver as an apprentice and he starts a new life away from the workhouse. So this is the story of this particular chapter. So in this story, what we have seen is that the young boy who is born was into poverty, is raised in the workhouse in England. His mother dies soon after giving birth to him, and he is given a name as Oliver Twist. As a child, he suffers from hunger, cold, and abuse from those who are supposed to take care of him. He and other workhouse boys are given only thin soups to eat, and they are always cold and poorly dressed. So when one day Oliver asks for more soup, and he's punished, he's locked, he's hid in the room for a week. Eventually, he's taken, he's sold to Mr. Sowerberry, a man who makes a coffin for £5. Now Oliver's fate is uncertain as he leaves the workhouse and enters a new and unfamiliar world. Now, children, I'll tell you about the theme of the story. The theme of the story, Oliver Asks for More by Charles Dickens, is actually based on cruelty and injustice faced by poor and orphan children in society during the 19th century. The story highlights the struggles of Oliver Twist as orphaned child who is mistreated in the workhouse where he was born. It also illustrates the harsh conditions of poverty, including the lack of food and clothing, and the brutal punishment for asking for more. The story depicts the societal neglect of vulnerable children and the need for compassion and empathy for those who are in need. And now the last, I'll tell you about the significance of the title. The title, Oliver Asks for More, is justified because it describes the pivotal moment in the story when Oliver, a poor and hungry boy living in a workhouse, asks for more food after being given only a small bowl of thin soup. This request is shocking to the workhouse master and leads to Oliver being punished and mistreated. This moment represents Oliver's desperation for more in life, such as more food, more warmth, and kindness, who are denied to him by the harsh circumstances of his upbringing. Oliver's request for more also sets him on a path of adventure and self-discovery as he leaves the workhouse and encounters variety of characters who shape his life. Therefore, the title of the story is appropriate, and this is what we learn in this particular story. The story is established in such a oppressive atmosphere where Oliver and the other children of the workhouse are denied for compassion, love, and basic necessities. It reflects the societal norms and attitudes of the 19th century England, providing a vivid backdrop to the struggle and injustice faced by the characters in the story. So, children, in this video, I have told you about the characters, about the summary, about the theme, and significance of the title. So, children, you know the story. In this story, the significance of title and theme are very important. They may ask you as a question which you have to write down very nicely in order to get good marks. So keep learning, keep hearing, and start writing. Do like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.